Hello world from Oktopost headquarters. This is Radically Transparent, Oktopost original podcast show on B2B Marketing Now. I'm your host, Jennifer Gutman, Director of Social Strategy at Oktopost, and in most episodes of this podcast, we'll feature B2B marketing leaders who will share their radically transparent truths behind being a modern-day marketer and what it takes to grow ideas, take risks, and impact change. Joining me on this episode of Radically Transparent is Julia Polisuk, Manager of Demand Generation at Cato Networks. Julia, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Jen. Thanks for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
We couldn't be more thrilled to have a manager of demand generation on the show. I've got so many questions for you, Julia, and from our previous conversations, I couldn't think of a more perfect person to have in the hot seat today. But I do promise to go easy with you for the first question. So I'll throw it at you now if you're ready. I was hoping, right, when we think about demand generation and Cato Networks, such an amazing company, could you share with us a brief look into who you are, your professional journey, and pretty much how you found yourself at Cato Networks?
Awesome. So, I started my career, in the B2B marketing agency, Pravda Media Group here in Israel.
Ah, okay.
Here, Pravda, which is where I actually met Oktopost for the first time and learned from the ground up what it is to build a stable demand gen machine, from marketing automation to, of course, social media. And it was truly awesome and a great experience. And from there, I went to work for 888 Holdings, gambling company, where it's publicly traded, much bigger budgets, where I did product and project management.
Okay.
Mostly in the areas of marketing automation and localization, all the marketing technology.
All the good stuff.
Yeah, all the good stuff, the stuff that I love. And I actually really wanted to go back to B2B. I was in the B2C world for a while, and B2B always is so interesting, so deep, so much attention to every lead and to every campaign. And it's something I love, and I love cyber, the IT space. So Cato seemed like an awesome idea, and I joined Marav, Karen, and Idan here at Cato. We were a small team. Now we are growing so big. It is so exciting, and I'm super grateful to be a part of this rocket ship that's Cato.
Listen,
Awesome.
Cato's lucky to have you, and I think also, coming from Pravda, we know your work, fantastic. I'm hoping maybe we can get a little radically transparent about Cato Network. And maybe just talk a little bit for anyone listening. I mean, Cato is pretty well known, but could you share a little bit about what is Cato Network and what value is Cato bringing to your customers in today's market?
Sure. So I think Cato, in a nutshell, is we are actually giving back the control of the network to the IT leadership.
Okay.
So Cato made what was like legacy boxes and super complex network and solutions into one like cloud-based service, So it is really just simple, converged. And actually Gartner coined in the end of 2019 the term SASE, which actually is just honestly what Cato is. Secure Access Service Edge. We fit perfectly into this category, and we've been SASE even before SASE existed.
I love it.
So it is very cool to be a part of it, and yeah, that's what we do. We give simplicity and convergence and scalability back to IT.
I love it. Cato gets sassy. Let's do it up.
Yeah. His name is also marketing. So cool.
So listen, I mean, getting sassy, I think, and just in the space that you are, there is a lot of pressure, I can imagine, having something as simple and easy to use and kind of breaking into maybe new mindsets or tool sets or skill sets, wherever it may be in the Cato world. I'm sure there has to be something, that's keeping you up at night or that you think about. So I'm going to pose our famous question to you at this time. Julia, in your role, what keeps you up at night professionally?
So I have like a super clear answer for that.
All right, we're braced.
So because we're hyper growth, our targets every month are just larger than they were before. Every quarter is just wow. So what keeps me up at night is not only to, generate awesome campaigns, it's to actually generate campaigns that they're scalable and replicable. So, just having a machine, a well-oiled machine, this is what keeps me up at night. I think we do a pretty good job here. We have an amazing team, but this is something that I'm always thinking about, always thinking of how I can do better at it. That's certainly what
Yeah.
keeps me.
I can definitely be awake with you at night on that. We should in our sleepless nights we should definitely have some coffee dates, because I do think that's one of the biggest challenges for marketers, right? If each month or each quarter you're doing something great and you're seeing great results, how much can you scale that to keep getting those great results? And then how do you balance kind of that push and pull of taking more risk or sticking to what works, and how do you balance that all in your role?
Yeah, it is very hard. And it's always a challenge. It also takes a good team, to actually embrace new ideas and try new things. And yeah, so it's awesome. It keeps me awake, but it's also what makes me love my
Well,
job.
that's good, because if you don't love your job and you're not having fun, then really what's the point? And what I'm actually dying to ask you, marketer to marketer, I know that you drive quite a lot of success, right? And what you were sharing earlier about what's keeping you up at night is the fact that you have this fantastic team. You guys are working on some really cool initiatives. Um, would you be able to actually share with us a little bit about what Cato Network's marketing plan looks like for 2021, and then perhaps even sharing, maybe to get the brain working, and then kind of helping us all kick off into creative mode. But do you have any secret sauces that you've seen work well, or any interesting stories that you can share with us about where you're seeing the most success to hit your numbers?
So Jen, actually, I have our marketing plan is just so dynamic and it changes all the time, which I think is a big part of the secret sauce, I would say. So we use a lot of awesome technology. We are always trying new vendors, and from from tech side to media side. So I think this is the core of our marketing plan, is just trying and doing POCs and really implementing everything we possibly can. But I actually have one specific project I would love to talk about, which I'm so proud of, which is our certification project. So we ran a certification project last year. We just had this really, simple idea to do a quiz to test people's knowledge of SASE, because it is a new category
Yeah.
coined by Gartner, and there was nothing in the market like it. And when we were brainstorming, I was like, listen, guys, I have a lot of IT folks on my network, and I'm always on LinkedIn. And I see that they post a lot of badges from this company called Credly.
Oh,
So
we've heard of Credly. Yeah, there are a lot of badges out there in the IT world.
yeah, wow, so much. The IT people just love their badges. So I was like, I want to have a badge like that. And from this simple quiz, it turned into this full-blown certification campaign that we did, which wasn't only a demand gen campaign, which is also a big part of why I love it and I'm so proud of it. It was just, like a very holistic campaign where we actually educated the industry. We are the first SASE certification out there, and we had amazing content supporting the certification as well as an exam, and people loved it. So we just reached 700 certified people, and we
Wow.
have thousands of applicants. So yeah, it is really cool, in my opinion. I think
Congratulations. That's really impressive.
yeah, I think it's really cool too. And on this is on a holistic side, it was great for every part of the life cycle. I don't know, even from leads, even the market itself, people were learning what SASE is, even our partners. So it was super, super interesting to see that. But you know, on a dimension side, the cool stuff that happened in this project is two things. One of them is that we actually had this amazing landing page that performed twice as as well as any other landing page we ever had. Yeah, and it's completely different than anything we had before. So it is really cool in my opinion. I
What do you
recommend.
think made that landing page so unique? Was it just the fact that people wanted to take this quiz and get certified, or was there something on the landing page you feel made it stand out from all other Cato Network, landing page history landing pages? Like, was there something on it that really you could say yes, it was this?
So I do think that there's an appeal of getting certified, and I know that those badges really, they bring people in, and
Yeah.
people want to get the badge and they want to share it with the world. But I think that this landing page had a lot of awesome content,
Okay.
and it just, it's really cool because many times you go for like minimalistic looks, and this
Yeah.
was like very content oriented, very, I would maybe heavy, but it was just so nice and it performed amazing. So I think it's nice sharing it, that it was really, really cool experience and it worked super well for us. And actually, the coolest point in the demand gen side was that we have like this super um, crazy database. So we have almost everyone in the industry in our database, and we usually get most of our engagement from email marketing.
Okay.
We
Makes
send
sense.
out webinars and ebooks and whatnot. And this time, two-thirds of our applicants actually came either from social media and our amazing advocacy, with Oktopost, and yeah, which worked incredible. And it is so nice to actually see something that has a viral effect that people like, that people share, um, and they want to be a part of. So I think it's like a different touch, especially in B2B. It's hard to do things that they are viral, I believe.
Yeah.
And going on the viral route, I'll also talk about the Credly, because people were actually sharing their badges and talking about their experience doing the course. So there's nothing better than user generated content. So this campaign was just, viral. And it keeps
Really
the,
got the job done.
yeah. And it's like a gift that keeps on giving. I call it like that because, people still take the course, people still share it, and there's still new people seeing it all the time.
Now,
So
with these
it is.
badges, was the badge initiative originally for customers or was it for anybody? Like, could anybody in the industry get a badge? Were you using it for like a new lead gen to get new leads in your database, or was it for existing leads in your database? Could you like? Was there like a method to your madness?
No, so we took, for example, it started, I would say, as like a demand gen initiative because it was a project that I read. But the nicest part of it is that it actually answered to all of our marketing and even sales needs.
Oh, amazing.
So our partners, our consultants in the industry took it. So it is so cool to see that happening. And also customers that, not customers, like opportunities in the
Yeah.
pipeline
Mhm.
also took part in the course. So it is really cool.
I really love this idea. I'm not gonna lie, right? We're getting radically transparent with one another. Like my wheels are spinning because I just think this is such an interesting initiative with really showing one how much you understood your target audience, right? Like you understood the IT world loved badges, so you put that forward and you're seeing great results. I also love that it really united sales and marketing, right? Like our half our battle in marketing is aligning with sales or speaking their language or trying to get on the same page or define this terms the same. And I think that what this really awesome project shows is that you were able to get everybody under the same umbrella, marketing led. And I think that's like my hat goes, if I had a hat, my hat goes off to you to do that because that is not easy. And that kind of leads me into my next question, right? You're chatting about, viral and the badges are going viral and user demand generated content, creating a lot of great demand. And my question is, right, in your opinion, the expert here, what would you say is the best way to get people's attention in 2021? Because right after the year of 2020 that we've had, and it seems that 2021 in some ways is not so different. There's a lot of noise out there. So what are some of the tactics? I know you mentioned employee advocacy, but what are some of the ways that you feel is the best for a brand to get attention?
So I think you said just right when you were explaining the question. So 2021 is the year after 2020, is the year where everything shifted, budgets shifted to digital. Honestly, it was never harder to be a demand gen manager, I would say. Um, just because, there's so much noise out there. So I won't tell you to do whatever everyone's doing and do webinars and more email marketing because everyone's doing that. So I believe it's don't scream and don't shoot everywhere. Use the tools that you have available to you, like for example, use intent marketing, third party and first party, and marry it with with segmentation and focusing on industries, on titles, and meet the right person at the right time and say what they want to hear, because it's just don't spend your marketing dollars because everyone's out there doing the same thing. So, just be more specific and more technological. I would say it's the right way to go and leverage the amazing tech we have out there.
Listen, I think there's a lot of truth in that, right? I think a big conversation and debate that's happening now in the marketing world is really right. We've heard kind of the buzzword like being authentic, relevant, but I do think that the buyer experience is an important one. And like you said, talking to the right person at the right time with the right message is key. So like, right, we're all throwing our marketing dollars to what we know works, webinars and email marketing, but I think we also need to be thoughtful of really how to engage and build that community or engage in the right way with the right people, and that's half the battle. Speaking of battles, something that I always find really interesting with all of our guests, we all know that failures are such an inevitable part of success. And I think sitting in the chair of a demand generation expert, right? There's always that moment of like after a campaign runs and you're analyzing all of the results and taking a look at all the data that you may or may not have to either run a new campaign, try something new. There's always something that you learn, but maybe also in that learning experience, you may have failed, right, to learn that lesson. And I was wondering if you might be able to share any of, stories or any moments of failure that at the time you thought, wow, that was a huge failure. But actually looking back, there was a lesson there that has helped you get where you are today.
So I actually don't have a specific story that I think taught me just so much, but one thing I learned very early on, I think, in marketing is to be humble, because what worked before maybe won't work again. And let's say best practices sometimes are not really best practices for you now, today. And what I actually like is to look at things, always with a fresh perspective and A/B test everything and listen to everyone's idea really and just try it, because it's worth it. Just do it in a small percentage of your audience and try it. Like I hear it so much from so many people, like, oh, this doesn't convert. Oh my God, are you real? Are you for real? Just be humble, things change. And things like a great example, like we started using a webinar platform and we designed two templates. And there was one that was loved. It was loved by everyone. Everyone is sure this was going to work so well. And the other one that was completely plain and we were sure it wouldn't work. And actually this one, the super plain one, worked so much better and we use it until today. So I'm not saying the plain works. I'm saying test it. That's I just feel like we have to be more humble a little bit. We try so many things. We just have to continue trying.
I love that. And I think that it's a great mindset, I think, too, in 2021 and beyond to, one, keep trying things, but also, right, you have these two templates. And I think all of us marketers listening can definitely relate where you maybe have a few different options and you're going to A/B test and, you and your team are pretty certain something's going to work. And then you realize that one template, right, in this example, is not the template you thought would work. And then you look at what does work and you're trying to understand, like, you wish maybe you would put your money on the other one, right? So that you could come to the table and be like, listen, right? We predict that this would work and it worked. And I feel in marketing, it's such an art or maybe a science. But you come to the table humble, right? Like, hey, we really thought this one would work, but here's the one that does. Let's learn from that. And I think that's an important mindset to have as a marketer, but also I think in life, right? Beyond our offices and beyond our careers. And I think with that will finish up our episode with my final question to you, Julia. I was preparing for this interview and I was super excited to have you on the show. And I went directly to LinkedIn and I looked up tons of information about you and did a little Google search. And with social being at the forefront of what Oktopost does, what I'd like to challenge you on is, can you share with us today one thing that we cannot learn about Julia from your LinkedIn profile or if we Google your name?
Okay, so I have a funny one that goes a little bit with my personality and also my work ethic. So I'm an outside of the box thinker. And actually, I'm a little bit hesitant because there might be too many Israelis tuning into this podcast.
I hope the whole country is listening.
So I actually think פתרתי את המשחק, as you say in Hebrew, I cracked the game, okay? I'm a Tel Aviv girl, I live in Tel Aviv, and it's horrible to find parking in here, and me and my husband purchased the golf cart, so we have no parking issues, and we cruise around town like people on their retirement in Boca in Miami,
Wait. Let me ask you this important question. So if you're in Tel Aviv, you're the couple driving the golf cart. And for anyone listening who doesn't know, I'm not even sure if I've ever seen golf courses in Israel. So you guys are the ones driving this golf cart to the unknown, disclosed golf location just to save time on parking?
So no golfing. Tel Aviv is like almost impossible to park, as you might know, living here in Israel. So, just took it to the next level. People might, raise an eyebrow. It goes for everything I think that I do. I'm pretty unconventional. So people might think it's strange, but then if you look twice, you're like, oh my God, she cracked the game, I cruise everywhere, I can park anywhere, and life is good. So
I think one, the next time we meet, I hope you pick me up in your golf cart. And two,
yes, I will.
I think that if anyone who is from Tel Aviv listening, I'm expecting next week to hop into Tel Aviv and see no more cars. We're going to be transitioning and pivoting to golf carts, thanks to Julia.
Yeah, it's also eco-friendly, which is fun.
There you go. It doesn't get better than a golf cart. Julia, thank you so much for your time today. And just last one, if anybody listening wants to get in touch with you or pick your brain more on demand gen, where is the best place that people can reach you?
So I think LinkedIn is always great. You can also reach me via email. Okay. It's julia.polisuk@catonetworks.com. So yeah.
Fantastic. Julia, thank you so much. And we look forward to having you back in season 5.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for tuning in to the Radically Transparent podcast brought to you by Oktopost, the only social media management and employee advocacy platform architected for B2B. I'm Jennifer Gutman, your host and director of social strategy here at Oktopost. And if you love today's show, we'd love if you subscribe, rate, and give a raving review wherever you get your podcasts. For more discussion on B2B social media marketing, be sure to follow Oktopost on LinkedIn. And of course, to gain access to all our free social media marketing and employee advocacy resources, head on over to our website, www.oktopost.com. Until next time.